new gecko room is finally done, and I'm gonna give you guys a tour of every animal in every single enclosure. We've been working on this room for quite a long time, starting with some 2x4s and just putting the construction together. And Jessica had a tremendous amount of work to do. Each one of these enclosures could take up to 8 hours to decor out. That's a lot of work, and that's a lot of enclosures to do. But before we get started, these enclosures are what they call bioactive.
Radioactive?
No, bioactive. So basically it means that these are little ecosystems in here, and it's really cool. You put cleaner bugs in here, which Josh's Frogs is about to help us out with that, and then basically those cleaner bugs do all the cleaning for you. First enclosure right here, I'm telling you what, it is difficult to find these animals because they blend in. Look at this. If this thing is in here, you can't even see it. Of course, this is one of our gargoyles. We have a large group of gargoyle geckos that we absolutely love, always producing really cool stuff. Second enclosure actually has Ichi in it right here. It's actually a boy that's growing up. Gonna eventually get a female, obviously, but it's in this enclosure, and I could. Unbelievable. This next one actually has a pair of leeches. As a matter of fact, there's several enclosures in a row here that have pairs of leeches. This is a little boy here, but he looks absolutely beautiful. And once again, just look at the camouflage that these guys have. Blend right in. And these enclosures, sometimes I open them up and I'm like,
where's the gecko?
And it's sitting right in front of my face. This is a little line gargoyle gecko right here that is full of eggs right now. She is plump as could be. Jessica has her work cut out for her because these enclosures, they can lay eggs in, and we may not even find them. So it's definitely going to be interesting to keep up on that. Obviously, the thing that's cool about this place is that it's so naturalistic. The bad part is that sometimes that eggs will be laid and we don't catch them. And guess what? Jessica just found this thing right here. This is actually from a group of a trio. And look at the little baby crested gecko in the back hanging out there. So that is as naturalistic as it could be. I mean, they laid the eggs in here. They hatched in here. It's like a little natural ecosystem, which is super cool. Let's see if we can see this little baby. How cute is that? There's probably another one going to be running around in here sometime too.
That's a nice looking one too. It looks like it'll be a pinstripe.
Oh, look how beautiful that is. Lizards must be happy. They're producing and actually hatching right in the enclosure. You guys know this animal right here. This is actually a Deadpool line. Ooh, gargoyle gecko from Tiki's Geckos. Absolutely beautiful. When this thing fires up, it's all red and amazing. Again, another female that has a bunch of eggs in her. Now, these don't blend in nearly as much with that red color, but I tell you what, they are gorgeous. Looking for geckos, it's almost like herping outside. You know, you're like, where that? But this is the only difference is, you know they're here. You just got to find them, and here it is. Look at this, a Chinese cave gecko. We have a few different species of these guys, and the majority of the animals in here are New Caledonia, but there are a couple animals in here that aren't, and all of these kind of more terrestrial enclosures right here, these four right here, are all Chinese cave geckos. We have several groups of crested geckos that are really beautiful. Crested geckos are always that first New Caledonia gecko that everyone gets because they're so readily bred. They're a lot cheaper than the majority of the other ones. They're amazing animals. Take a look at that animal right there. Unbelievable. Interesting story about these guys is that one time they thought they were extinct in the wild and they were being captive bred tons in captivity, but they didn't think any were left. Now they've actually found some pockets on certain islands, so they're back in the wild, which is great. But wow, that's a neat animal. Quick fire round, guys. Which is better, an African fat-tailed gecko or a leopard gecko?
African fat tail.
They're cooler. I think they have more of a personality.
They're the same color as coffee, and I love coffee.
African fat-tails and leopard geckos are relatively similar animals, but of course leopard geckos come from India and Pakistan, whereas African fat-tails come from West Africa.
I thought leopard geckos were here in America too.
No, dude.
Speaking of crested geckos, this is actually a lily white right here. Woo! I tell you what, you gotta have quick hands with this little monkey right here. That's a beautiful animal. This is actually like an incomplete dominant mutation. As it gets older, it gets more and more white. Woo! I tell you what, this is a feisty little dude. Loves to jump. Whoa! I tell you what, geckos are fun, but this guy, you need to go back in. Go, buddy. See ya, bye. You guys may remember my first lychee ever was this girl here. This is Big Bertha. She used to be at the Reptarium. Now she's down here. She looks amazing over here. There you go, girl. And her boyfriend is way back here in the corner. We'll see if we can get a look. Peek at him. Look at that right there. Ooh. Lychees are amazing. Big, giant geckos. Unbelievable. Lychee gecko or Chihuahua gecko?
Lychee gecko.
That's a Chihuahua.
No, dude, lychees, they feel like silk or velvet on your fingers.
So does this one.
What? Oh, yeah.
I think they're cooler because they look a little bit more like camouflage. They jump a little bit more. Their eyes are just as cool, but these guys are just smaller.
Yeah, and these are the largest in the world, and dude. Look at the beautiful pink blushing on this one.
This is the burnt rust color. Burnt rust.
Yeah, you do love your rust.
Lychee geckos, of course, are the largest gecko on the planet, and the Chihuahua geckos come from the same area of the islands of New Caledonia.
Since we're talking about geckos, you want to go show Bill and Sally?
Absolutely. Oh, I do have an idea though.
What?
Now let's go see Bill and Sally.
What'd you do to my gecko? You want to see our friend? Look at that. Lychee, it's actually the largest gecko in the world.
Oh my god.
Isn't it big? These aren't even the most beautiful ones. There's some that have pink spots instead of white, but they're not as big. How much?
Oh man, very cool.
Pat around his back.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wait till you guys bring this.
Mike cuddles them up in the suit.
We got a whole room dedicated to these guys now.
And we've got Logan here from Josh's Frogs. I have a bunch of cleaner bugs here. What did you bring me today?
We got a few things. There's dwarf white isopods, powder orange isopods, and springtails.
So what do these things do?
So setting up bioactive enclosures, breaking down the different organic compounds from the animals.
And the 3 different ones you brought do 3 different things, or they do the same thing?
Generally kind of the same thing. They're all going to be eating that organic compounds in there and breaking them down. They all kind of serve a different niche.
All right, we like niches and environments. And right now you can actually go over to Josh's Frogs and you can get 10% off springtails and isopods. Promo code BBN, you get 10%. So go over, pay them some love. And by the way, I'll put a link in the description to all of their social media, so show them some love. Tell them I sent you. This is actually a leaf-tailed gecko from Madagascar called a Europlates lineatus, or a lined leaf-tailed gecko. Because of all these amazing lines on her, look at how beautiful that animal is right there. I love Europlates, there's no doubt about it. And the majority of the animals here are from New Caledonia, but we do have the Madagascan ones scattered throughout. Whew, that's a beauty. This one I'm not able to take out, because if I tried to take this out, it would be running all over the place. It's actually a giant day gecko from Madagascar, a Phelsuma grandis, which is one of the bigger day geckos, and I believe it can save you 15% on your insurance.
All right, guys, bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for letting us show you.
Wait. Ice cream? I gotta get ice cream.
No, Mike, today you don't need ice cream.
Wait, why?
I can't believe we got this cool gecko from a gas station.
And it was only as much as ice cream was.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jessica. Yeah, second time cutting a cake. This is actually a red blotched, yellow base reticulated gargoyle gecko. And again, look at how chunky they are. It's egg season, so lots of eggs are gonna be produced. And in this enclosures like this, I think they're gonna have a great time. There's no doubt that production should be really high because it's so naturalistic. But like I said, Jessica's gonna have one hard time finding eggs.
So I was checking through here today for some eggs and I found some. This is the first eggs I've gotten from this trio of geckos. You can see one of them right there. That's one of the females. Red Harlequin trio. So I'm really excited to see these babies when they pop out.
Gargoyle gecko or crested gecko?
Gargoyle.
Crested.
She jumped right to me. They get a little bit bigger, I believe, and they're just a lot more colorful. I know they have a lot of colors and stuff, but like the Deadpool stuff on these guys and all that other cool genes, bright red gecko, it's cool.
I'm going crested because actually this is the first gecko I ever knew about, and also I just love their agility, their ability to jump. A little bit of a haircut on them that's really unique.
Of course, gargoyle geckos and crested geckos are both from New Caledonia as well. Crested geckos are very popular in the pet trade. Gargoyles are starting to be bred a lot more consistently, and they're definitely becoming more popular. Just really cool, heavy-bodied lizards. Take a look at this, man. I tell you what, every enclosure I open up, this is like, this is so beautiful. It's like you're in the wild, but this is actually a Nuami lychee gecko, and it's absolutely a ripper. This is the one that John, my buddy over at Johnny Racks, actually donated to us. Absolutely incredible. This is the female. We have a boy, too. The thing that's interesting about these guys is that they actually will vocalize and make almost like a barking, growling sound. Really interesting that geckos can do that.
Chaos, Jessica.
Could you please calm down?
This is chaos, Jess.
I guess I should have just did one at a time. I think you're the boy. We're gonna put in some new lychees in the New Caledonia room today. We've already taken a look at these guys before. This is our pair of Nuamis. The really cool thing about these guys is they're second generation, bred from the wild. So their parents were collected, I think, in 1997, which is super cool. They're 2020, so it'll probably be about 2 more years before they're ready. Island localities are a little bit more like flighty. She enjoys this enclosure a little bit more though. Basically, I just have to plant this enclosure out and then finish these two, and this room will be pretty much done. I can't wait.
This is actually the Saracenorum geckos from New Caledonia. These are another one that jump like crazy, run pretty fast, but look at how beautiful these things are. There are so many geckos from New Caledonia. When I started to learn a little bit about the geckos, I thought that there was just, I thought there was just crested gargoyles and lychees. Turns out there are literally dozens and dozens of different species of geckos from New Caledonia, and they are all really amazing. This one is super cool, and hopefully we can get babies of these in the future. Tell you what, you gotta be quick when you're dealing with geckos, there's no doubt about that. This is actually a Bowers chameleon gecko. Really cool little gecko from New Caledonia. It's almost like the morning gecko of New Caledonia. Very interesting animal. This happens to be a little boy right here, and that's the thing about geckos is that they're pretty easy to sex. There's no doubt about that, but they're not easy to hold. Whoa! Okay, buddy, back in. Goodbye. Look at these gargoyle geckos here. This is actually a Deadpool line that was bred to one of our red lines, and then And this is a Dracula line, another Tiki's Gecko red line. So we're actually breeding these together to see what we're gonna get. But wow, I tell you what, reds like this, gonna be rippers. The Europlates giant leaf-tailed gecko or the day gecko. The day gecko we can't hold, so you guys choose.
Definitely this, no question. Look at this right here. It's got a little tail. Look at that tail. Perfect vision in the night.
Yeah, I mean, their pupils are so small now, but in the night they get like as big as their eye. They're so cool. Everything about them, I mean, it's the size of them. They look like an alien. The day geckos you can't touch, and they're fast and small. Only come on the day.
I've never seen it do this, have you?
No.
Really? It's just moving its tail like a leaf.
I've never seen it.
Camouflage.
It's so cool. It also has Desert Storm camo.
Both the leaf-tailed geckos and the day geckos come from Madagascar, but besides that, they couldn't be more different. The giant leaf-tailed gecko is an extremely nocturnal animal, basically hiding all day and coming out at night, whereas the day gecko certainly will come out during the daytime and eat nectar. And this is the largest enclosure that we have here in this room, and it's wonderful. Again, I kind of feel like I'm out in the bush looking for geckos and trying to find them because they're so hard to see. Wait, I think I see one. Yep, I see one in the back over there. I'm gonna go back here. Hopefully I don't get bit. Whenever you're putting your hand in a crevice trying to grab out an animal, you never know what you're gonna get. Ooh, look at that. Of course, a beautiful lychee gecko. What an amazing animal. So that gives you an idea of what this room is, man. I tell you what, we are so excited. It's finally done. Speaking about done, so is this video. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, be kind to someone.
That's a cute piece. That is actually cute. That's like the biggest piece.
That was a good day.